Other major revelations are thanks to, again, Judicial Watch litigation over the objections of the Justice Department and the FBI. We had to sue for these records. We received a portion of the investigative file of the FBI into the Clinton email matter. And we received, they came to us last Friday. We got the documents out on Monday. We received, 422 pages of FBI records, some emails of Hillary Clinton, the notes that the FBI took, State Department official records about the investigation, the sham investigation into Hillary Clinton's email issue. And again, you would think I'm not surprised, but I do get surprised time to time. And this is an extraordinary find and cache of documents because they literally document. When I say literally, meaning they use the word cover-up related to Hillary Clinton's email server. And I'll talk to you about that now. I have the release here that talks about the specific documents. I tell you, and I encourage you, it may look like a lot of documents. The fact we had to wait so long for them is outrageous. I think we started suing for them 2 years ago. And, but I encourage you to go to our website at judicialwatch.org, click on the release related to the documents, and download them yourselves and look at them. Maybe you find things that we missed. And those of you who don't like the truth and don't trust Judicial Watch, and for partisan reasons choose to ignore corruption in the Democratic Party, or are just suspicious generally because you just don't trust anyone, which is probably a fair position to have in some respects. Don't trust me, go and look at the documents yourselves and draw your own conclusions. But that's what I love about Judicial Watch, because we just put the documents out there and they speak for themselves, and they're government documents. So don't trust me, go look at the documents yourselves. So the documents came to us last week. They show that there were notes of the FBI. The FBI took notes of an interview with a person from Platte River Networks, who was one of the vendors involved in providing support for the Hillary Clinton illicit email server. And the interview took place in February 2016. By the way, well over a year after the government knew about her illicit email server. They show that Platte River gave someone access to her archive at one point, which is problematic. But the same notes also show that an email from December 11th, 2014 exists that reads, Hillary cover-up operation work ticket archive cleanup. Again, this is a quote from FBI notes. Hillary cover-up operation work ticket archive cleanup. The FBI knew there was a cover-up operation related to Hillary Clinton. The interviewee said that the cover-up operation email probably related to a change to 60-day email retention policy backup. He didn't recall the prior policy. So they're pretending that the cover-up operation was they were only keeping emails from the prior 60 days, which would have resulted in deletions of tens of thousands of emails. Now, I don't know if this is the email that's referenced in the notes or a separate one, but there's an email that we specifically found. And of course, the parties are redacted, so we don't know who said what to who. It's all part of the Hillary cover-up operation, and it had a little smiley face. I'll have to tell you about it at the party. So here we've got two documents demonstrating literally in black and white there was a cover-up operation related to Hillary Clinton's email server. And there have been no prosecutions. If that doesn't tell you the Clinton email investigation by the FBI and Justice Department wasn't a sham, I don't know what will. But that's not all in these documents. Again, 422 pages. There's a lot here. I don't even think we put all the good stuff in the release sometimes. There's no way we possibly could. I was on Sean Hannity, and Sean pointed out quite succinctly, we now have the date when the obstruction of justice occurred. Because the documents show that in March of 2000, oh, by the way, this cover-up operation, before I get to that, was December 11th, 2014. Why is that an important date? It's less than a week. It's literally around the same time that Hillary Clinton first turned all of her emails, or at least half of them, back to the State Department. And so at the same time, her vendors are destroying backup records. Now recall, she took 60,000 emails with her. She only returned about half of them, keeping 33,000 of them, and deleting them or attempting to delete or hide them. And here we've got the reason why. It was a cover-up operation. That's how I read it. And then you heard famously about this bleach bit, which is a program to clean hard drives and erase data on them permanently. Platte River Network's use of bleach bit occurred on March 31st, 2015. And as Hannity said, that's the date of the obstruction of justice. I think that's a fair reading of this. Again, Judicial Watch is coming up with this. The FBI has been sitting on this and hiding this from you, the American people. 11:42 a.m. on March 31st is when it was downloaded. So why, again, is March 31st an important date? Well, March 31st was just a few weeks after the Clinton email server was first publicly exposed in the papers. New York Times, the Associated Press. Well, and of course, all of that was exposed because of Judicial Watch's Freedom of Information Act litigation. It was Judicial Watch that uncovered the Clinton emails. It was our litigation that forced the State Department to find and then fess up to the Clinton emails. If we weren't asking for the documents, the State Department would never have gone back to Hillary Clinton and said, give us those emails you stole from us. Of course, they didn't say it like that, but that's what effectively had happened. And so within weeks of this information becoming public, they download a program to delete the backup, to delete the server material. And then, of course, you've got the classified information. Now, the FBI only focused exclusively on classified information and pretended that was the only legal issue. And, of course, they rewrote the law to give Hillary Clinton cover. And you know what's so outrageous about this, and I'm not even going to wait to get to it. While they are doing this cover-up operation for Hillary Clinton, because Platte River Network wasn't the only one doing the cover-up, it was the FBI, the Justice Department, the State Department, the other agencies, the Obama White House. They were spying on President Trump, or then candidate Trump, in league specifically with Hillary Clinton's campaign. It's corruption on top of corruption. And the Attorney General of the United States needs to do a two-pronged investigation because the issues are two sides of the same coin. Hillary Clinton's email investigation and the cover-up of it, and the Trump Spygate scandal are tied. They needed to protect Hillary Clinton. And they needed to work with her to spy on President Trump. They couldn't do that if they were going to prosecute her or people around her. The same Justice Department, the same FBI agent was running the investigation into Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump at the same time. The corrupt Peter Strzok. And the mishandling of the classified information in these documents that's shown is just so dramatic. This is a document from the intelligence community. Intelligence Community Inspector General discussing concerns over classified information. And the summary is, they saw hundreds of classified emails on her system, and in fact, they were concerned that her whole system should have been classified. Did you know that? And I'm going to read you this specifically, because no one else in the media will tell you this. While working with this inspector, I have personally reviewed hundreds of documents in the HRC collection. I can now say without reservation that there are literally hundreds of classified emails in this collection, maybe more. For example, there are comments by department staff and emails relating to the WikiLeaks unauthorized disclosures. Many of the emails relating to this actually confirm the information in the disclosures. So what does that mean? Now, the concern was that WikiLeaks, Julian Assange was just arrested this week. I'm sure it's no coincidence. That WikiLeaks was sending out classified information. Remember, Chelsea Manning, or Bradley Manning at the time, whatever his or her name was at the time, was sending out classified information through WikiLeaks, stealing it and sending it out through WikiLeaks. And the government was taking this position at the time. They weren't sure they were going to classify it or admit to it, and they were being cagey for national security reasons. So the emails reference this classified information in WikiLeaks on Hillary's email server. And they were concerned. This material is the subject of FOIA litigation. Again, Judicial Watch. And the emails will now have to be found, reviewed, and upgraded. Under EO 13526, it will be our right to classify the entire HRC collection at the secret level because of the mosaic effect. Did you hear that? The government could have classified all of Hillary Clinton's emails. And I'll go get into it 1 second on that. While there may be IC equities in the collection, intelligence community equities in the collection, I'm very concerned about the inadvertent release of State Department equities when this collection is released in its entirety. The potential damage to the foreign relations of the United States could be significant. You had an intelligence official say that Hillary Clinton's email system, which undoubtedly James Comey had said that he assumed it had been hacked. There's no question it had been hacked. Comey was working from the assumption it had been hacked. That the full release of it would be damaging to the United States. And she never was prosecuted. They did a sampling, 40 of the Hillary's 30,000 emails. And of those 40 emails they pulled out, 4 of them were classified, so 10%. She signed a memo on 2011 advising all State Department employees that due to recent targeting of personal email accounts by online adversaries, state employees should avoid conducting official department business from their personal email accounts. Hillary Clinton signed that document while at the same time using personal email accounts to do official business. How does that not go to intent? The intent that Comey pretended needed to be necessary in order to prosecute her, when in fact the standard is gross negligence, but that's another argument. She was warned, and Judicial Watch found the documents. It was Judicial Watch, our investigative team, our legal team, that found the documents that showed that she was warned repeatedly about her email practices as being unsecure. She did it anyway. In fact, she told other State Department employees not to do what she was doing. Imagine being on a jury hearing that. Undersecretary of State for Management Patrick Kennedy, who I think was involved in this cover-up, had sent a memo to all senior State Department officials on August 28, 2014, in which Kennedy included excerpts from the Foreign Affairs Manual that said classified information must be sent via classified email channels only. Now that was after I think she left. But that's standard. It was a standard line in the Foreign Affairs Manual. Obviously, classified information should only be sent on secure channels, and Hillary Clinton knowingly violated that rule. Other documents show that the State Department was playing fast and loose with the classification issue because there was this is what I've reviewed I think I've reviewed all the Clinton emails, and it's pretty clear to me that the State Department specifically did not classify documents that otherwise should have been classified. Did you hear me? They were underclassifying materials at the State Department, in my view, in order to help Hillary Clinton avoid political and legal damage from having so much classified information on her system. And sure enough, these documents confirm that emails that were withheld under the classification setting, it's B1 typically, the material was still withheld, but they changed the reason for the withholding to another reason. That was not classified. It was B5, which is deliberative process, which just means that you can't see our internal deliberations, when in fact, originally it was classified. So they were downgrading the classification of Hillary's emails, as I say, to protect her. Confirmation of that here. Classified information here about Benghazi was found. Jake Sullivan, who we are deposing next week. A request for travel dated November 2015 shows that the FBI dispatched special agents to Spain and Bahrain to conduct interviews in the mid-year exam, which was the name for Hillary Clinton's email scandal investigation, regarding a sensitive intelligence matter. Why did the FBI go to Bahrain and Spain to investigate Hillary Clinton's emails? Did it have anything to do with the Clinton Foundation? I don't know. Why do I ask that question? Because I suspect it may have something to do with the Clinton Foundation. Because we had materials from her secret email system that show that the Crown Prince of Bahrain was going through the Clinton Foundation to try to get a meeting with Hillary Clinton. And Bahrain was a big partner of the Clinton Foundation. So is this tied to that trip to Bahrain? I'd be very interested to know. And of course, the letters show that the Clinton lawyers were buddy-buddy with the FBI and DOJ. They were running the show, not the other way around. See, if you're Paul Manafort or someone like that, you get a raid, right? But if you're Hillary Clinton, your lawyers get to destroy classified information, destroy evidence, tell others not to talk about destroying evidence. Your lawyers get immunity, even if they're witnesses in the case. The disparate treatment between Hillary Clinton and Trump and his people highlights the corruption under the Justice Department and the FBI under the Obama administration. Unbelievably political. So there's a lot here, and it shows you why Attorney General Barr needs to get moving forward on this Clinton email issue. It's been 2 years, over 2 years, and the Justice Department has remained silent on the corruption of the Obama Justice Department and the FBI and their cover-up of Hillary Clinton's emails. Do they stand by that decision, or will they reject it? That's the question I have for Attorney General Barr. Now, admittedly, he just signed up, but we need to know within a few months whether he's going to do anything on Mrs. Clinton. The evidence is overwhelming. I told you recently, just last week or the week before, about new classified materials among the materials that she had deleted or attempted to delete or hide. She took documents that didn't belong to her, and there was classified material that was the government's material, and she tried to delete it. And we found out about it. I mean, the FBI knew about it, but they didn't want to tell anyone really about what was going on because, again, they were in the cover-up mode, Peter Strzok and company. So for all the noise about Spygate, the bigger headline, frankly, this week is that Judicial Watch has found smoking gun documents that Hillary Clinton email system was literally, they had evidence of a cover-up. Black and white. You can read it for yourself. So great credit to our lawyers and our investigative team for ferreting out this information and sticking with it. Again, this is the product of years of investigation and litigation by Judicial Watch, not by Congress, and it's over the objections of the Justice Department and the FBI. We have to sue to get the records.